Welcome to the NBA Now by Chat Sports. I am Nic Rohloff. Mock Draft 6.0. We are under a week away from the NBA Draft getting underway in Brooklyn, and I have a full 2-round mock draft, 58 picks on today's show. So let's get into it with a stunner at number 1. Yes, you heard me correctly. Donovan Clingan, the center from UConn, going first overall. Reports are that Alex Sarr can't get into the building for Atlanta, and I think there's a realistic expectation that Sarr is no longer the top guy in this draft, and Quinn Snyder really likes Clingan, compares him to Rudy Gobert, who he coached in Utah. I think Clingan has a really good chance to go number 1, and I would place my money on him to be the top selection if we get here on Wednesday. Alex Sarr then does fall to the Wizards at number 2, and I think Washington would be ecstatic with this. The Wizards have no front court pieces around Kyle Kuzma. They traded away Daniel Gafford. They need to replace the center position. I think Alex Sarr would be a good fit. If the Rockets do keep this pick, I see them going with Reed Sheppard, the guard from Kentucky. He can do it all. He can shoot the 3. He can defend. He can play make. He can ball handle. He averaged 2.5 steals a game last year. Shot 50% from 3. He's a really good all-around player that fits Amen Thompson, Jalen Green really well, and it would be a great pick for Houston if they end up keeping this 3rd pick. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because we are going to be live for both days of the NBA Draft. First time they've gone 2 separate days, 1 round on Wednesday, 2nd round on Thursday. Subscribe and turn notifications on so you don't miss a thing when we go live, because I'll be there with Harrison Graham and the rest of the Chat Sports crew breaking it down. The Spurs have 2 first-round picks, and we're going Zaccharie Risacher with the first one at 4th overall. A Frenchman to pair up with Wemby in the front court. Risacher is really good at being a connecting piece, can shoot it off the catch really well, played well in his final EuroLeague postseason stretch. I think he's a good player. I don't get the top 2 pick buzz, but would fit really nicely as the power forward next to Victor Wembanyama. Matas Buzelis goes number 5 to the Detroit Pistons, one of the most common mock draft picks here, and I'm going to continue the trend because he is just an excellent piece to pair with Ausar Thompson and Jalen Duren in that front court. I think Buzelis is going to be able to improve his shooting. The form is there. You get him working with Fred Vincent, and he could be an elite 4 in the NBA. Stephon Castle, the guard from UConn, pairs up with LaMelo Ball here at number 6. A common mock draft pick for me. I just think Castle would work really well next to LaMelo Ball. He can defend, he can play make, he can work really well doing the little things, but also having the ball in his hands. I like this fit for the Castle and the Hornets. Dalton Knecht, one of the better shooters in this draft, heading to Portland at number 7. I think this is his floor, if I'm going to be honest. Unless some crazy shit happens, I don't think Knecht falls out of the top 7. Averaged 20 points a game for Tennessee, shot 40% from 3. I love his game and will fit nicely next to Simons, Simmons, and Shaedon Sharpe. Nikola Topic. He is my 2nd overall player in this draft. My big board, he's number 2. Partially torn ACL might cause him to slip here, but he's the best playmaker and passer in this draft. And I just think him being 6'5", 6'6", running the pick and roll with Victor Wembanyama for the long term could be absolutely deadly. Might not be able to play until halfway through this season, but I'd take the flyer if I'm San Antonio, especially since I have 2 picks in the top 10. Rob Dillingham at number 9 is the perfect player to be a backup in Memphis, who they need more scoring punch off the bench. They have Ja, they have Desmond Bane, they have Jaren Jackson Jr., but the bench is lacking. Rob Dillingham slots in as a 6-man, 10 to 15 point per game scorer year 1. Smooth ball handler, good shooter. I like Dillingham in Memphis. Cody Williams rounds out our top 10, the forward from Colorado, younger brother of the Thunder's wing, Jalen Williams, who has been fantastic. Cody also has good size like his brother, can shoot the 3 ball, defended at a really high rate for the Buffaloes last season, often taking the top assignment on the perimeter for the Colorado team. I think Cody is a good piece for the Jazz as they start building around Keontae George and Lauri Markkanen. 10 names down, but let me know who is your favorite NBA draft prospect. I labeled Dalton Knecht as someone I like. I like Buzelis. I like Nikola Topic as well. Let me know your favorite NBA draft prospect down below. The Bulls, who just traded Alex Caruso for Josh Giddey, draft Devin Carter, the guard/forward from Providence, who honestly can remind me a lot of Alex Caruso. Not as good as a defender as Caruso is, but lengthy. He's 6'2" with a 6'8" wingspan, averaged 8 rebounds in the Big East for the Friars last season. I think Carter could fill that role for Caruso, one of the better high-floor players in this draft. Tajon Salon, the forward from France out of Cholet, heads to the Thunder, who also just made a trade, so 12 and 11. No picks were traded between the two teams, so they're still picking here as of now. And Salon would be a long-term play, might not be able to contribute to the Thunder right now, but if they're continuing to build a long-term, sustaining potential dynasty in the Western Conference, Salon could help that in 1 to 2 seasons, get him 1 year of playing some little minutes behind that starting lineup for OKC, and they could really take off. The Kings go with Jared McCain, who could be the Malik Monk replacement. Monk's likely to leave in free agency. McCain's not going to be the high-volume scorer like Monk, but someone who can defend, can shoot the 3-ball, really good shot form, shot at over 50 or 40% at Duke a year ago. Really quick release, too. McCain is a good fit in Sacramento. Ron Holland, rounding out the lottery, heading to the Portland Trail Blazers. He could go from anywhere from the top 5 to maybe even 20, if we're going to be honest. Holland has a big-time range of where he can go, but he is no doubt one of the better defenders. He's athletic, moves his feet, gets his hands in the passing lane. Ron Holland is very, very good. The only issue is he cannot shoot the basketball. So almost just like Josh Giddey, who we talked about a little bit earlier, well, is he going to be able to play down the stretch because he can't space the floor? 15, Kel'el Ware, the center from Indiana, going to Miami. The Heat need more depth at the center position. They also need more size around Bam Adebayo and backing him up. They have never had a good backup center. Ware can do that. 7 feet tall, good wingspan, shot 41% from 3 at Indiana on 1.5 attempts a game. Ware, been comped to Miles Turner and Brook Lopez, could be a good center to help Bam Adebayo. Tristan Da Silva at 16 for the 76ers. Report out there just a couple days ago that Da Silva is likely going to go between 15 and 19. A lot of interest there. He's a do-it-all type player that can have a year-one impact like Jaime Jaquez Jr. did for the Miami Heat, and it makes sense for a team like Philly trying to win now. The Lakers, they want a center apparently to help Anthony Davis, move him to the 4 or back him up. Yves Missi out of Baylor can be that guy. Athletic, rim protects, runs up and down the floor at an exceptionally quick rate and is able to be a lob threat. Missi also showcased some isolation setting and ability to score off the dribble when given the ball in the high post at the free throw line a little bit. I think he's a good fit for the Lakers. Carlton, a.k.a. Bub Carrington, the guard from Pitt, going to Orlando. Magic need guard help and scoring in the backcourt. Carrington reminds me a little bit of Darius Garland, the way he's fluid and with his handle, getting to the mid-range and his jump shot, which is so damn good from 15 to about 18 feet. Carrington would be a nice addition to the Magic. Raptors go high upside here at 19, in my opinion, with Keyshawn George. They've been one of the teams linked to Zach Edey, but I have them going the forward, who is an exceptional three-point shooter, long arms, long legs, very, very lengthy. He's not someone that's going to contribute at a high level right away, but the Raptors aren't trying to compete, so it helps them kind of take a long-term focus with Grady Dick and Scotty Barnes leading the way. Kyle Filipowski going to Cleveland here at 20. They just need more size. Jared Allen, is he going to stay? Is he going to go? But they still need bench help. Tristan Thompson is just not it at center off the bench. They get Filipowski, who's very versatile on the offensive side of the floor, can space it, can handle it, can pass it. I like Filipowski quite a bit. I think it would be a great fit in Cleveland. Another center, Zach Edey, the big man from Purdue, heading to the New Orleans Pelicans. Jonas Valanciunas is a free agent. Very likely he doesn't return. They need to add some size in that front court if that's the case. Edey, the 2-time Wooden Player of the Year and Naismith Player of the Year and Big Ten Player of the Year, who's just been dominant at the collegiate level, finds a home in NOLA. Make sure you subscribe. We told you off the top that we're going to be live. Well, just continue to be the most up-to-date NBA fan with us here at NBA Now at Chat Sports. News, rumors on the draft leading up to the big day in about 4 days. So hit that sub button and stay locked in. Tyler Kolek from Marquette heading to Phoenix. There's a lot of buzz marrying these two guys together, and Kolek could be someone who contributes day one as a cerebral playmaking point guard. Makes a lot of sense for a team that needs to add cheap talent like Phoenix. Isaiah Collier heading to Milwaukee here at 23. Talented guard, bulldog mentality. I like to compare him to a pit bull, the way he's built, because he's just short, stocky, strong, takes it to the rack with physicality and can finish through contact. Also a great playmaker. Needs to develop a three-point shot, but getting to learn behind Damian Lillard would be very ideal for him and Milwaukee long term. 2 picks here for New York. We'll flash both Tyler Smith out of the G League Ignite and Jalen Tyson from California. If they don't trade these 2 picks in a package, I like this haul for New York. You get a lengthy forward in Tyler Smith who can play the 4, can learn to play defense, or actually he's a good defender already, but develop more of an offensive game. And Jalen Tyson, who reminds me a little bit of Caleb Martin, could be a good connecting piece for New York as well off the bench. Big fan of these 2 picks for New York. Johnny Furphy going to the Wizards at 26. One of the more high upside guy, younger prospect, originally from Australia. Played really well at Kansas a year ago. Good-looking three-point shot. High upside type player, and I think he is someone that can develop with a more reserved and long-term approach that Washington is currently having. At 27, the Minnesota Timberwolves take Jacoby Walter, the guard from Baylor. I like his long-term potential to be a 3-and-D 2 guard. I think that fits really well early on in his career off the bench for Minnesota, but ultimately can take over as the backcourt partner to Anthony Edwards when Edwards continues to improve his playmaking games. Walter, 5-star in high school, was very good for Baylor last year. Deron Holmes, the center from Dayton, heading to the Denver Nuggets. There's rumors out there that Holmes received a promise from a team in the first round. I think that team is Denver. It'd make a lot of sense for the Nuggets to scoop him up because Holmes can play make, he can defend, and I think he could back up Jokic pretty well. The question is he going to be able to guard 5s at an efficient rate in the NBA as he's like a 6'8" and 3/4 in terms of height. Bakomi Dadiet heading to the Jazz at 29. High upside wing from France who has a smooth three-point shot on him. I don't think he's going to be ready to compete and play in an NBA rotation for another 2 to 3 seasons. So to me, a Jazz team that has time to wait, but in the next couple of years when Keontae George improves, Lauri Markkanen, you're able to get Bakomi and let him develop in your G League system, that's very ideal if you're asking me. The last pick of the first round, Baylor Shireman, the guard/forward from Creighton, lefty scorer, very, very smooth. He's an excellent player. I'm a fan of his game. He can score at all 3 levels, very similar to Joe Ingles in a type of way. Maybe that's just a lazy lefty comparison, but I like Shireman and what he brings to the table. We're going to get to the second round here, and we're not going to talk about every pick here. We're just going to talk about some big ones here. Ryan Dunn to Virginia, or out of Virginia, going to the Knicks at 38 is a fun fit. The way he's able to defend. Kevin McCullough going to the Bucks at 33 in this mock draft, a good player from Kansas. And then how about Nikola Dursic having a fit in the Timberwolves system? He compared himself to a less athletic Anthony Edwards. Could he be on the same team as the Minnesota Timberwolves star shooting guard? We showcased the first 40 picks of the mock draft. I want to go back to the first 30, though. Did you like your team's pick in the first round? Let me know if you did or didn't, but also let me know what the pick and team was. I want to know what you guys think about my mock draft. All right, 18 more picks to break down here. Couple that stand out to me. Jamal Shead, the guard from Houston, going to Miami at 43. I think that's a good fit for both squads. They get an experienced point guard in Shead, and also is one of their better defenders who can play right away as their 8th, 9th man off the bench. I think that's a great fit for them too. Tristan Newton heading to the Magic at 47 is also a fascinating one. Combo guard, can defend, rebounds at a high rate, could play right away for Orlando. And then the pairing of Enrique Freeman and Jalen Bridges for Indiana at 49 and 50 could be a great 2-man pairing for Indiana. Last 8 picks, couple that I want to showcase. I did it. I had to do it. Unfortunately, I did. Bronny James going to the Lakers at 55. I really do believe that he is going to go there, and it just feels like Rich Paul is going to force Bronny to there, which is a little bit unfortunate, but I find that the most likely outcome. And then Cameron Christie, the guard from Minnesota, who I thought should have went back to college, but Christie could be a great fit in Golden State at pick 52 with a lot of upside for the long term. All right, 58 picks down. There's a lot there to digest. But let me know. Grade my mock draft 6.0. 58 picks, 58 players. Let me know. Letter grade down in the comment section. A, B, C, D, or F. Don't be harsh. Let me know. And also give me a follow on Twitter at Nic_Rohloff because I'm talking about the NBA draft on a daily basis. So if you want more content in between our videos and before the draft next Wednesday, follow me at Nic_Rohloff.